Is it recording? Oh. Alright, what is up, YouTube? It is Monday, start of week 5. So, no word from Scaff yet. I believe he's in Dubai. So I'll probably get feedback from him tonight. So today we'll carry on as usual until he says otherwise. Shocking, that's how coaching works. If you don't hear feedback from your coach, you just keep doing the thing that you're doing. Big mystery. Also, mixing up meals a little bit this week, or what was yesterday, or last week. Having some kangaroo wraps with taco seasoning. Crumpets as usual. Didn't have the big ones, so we used little ones. Expecting to happen this week. We've got what have we got on this week? A lot of business stuff, a lot of things to get done before the Christmas break kicks in for most people. I got some catch-ups with some folks from America. A lot of training to get done. As we've already talked about previously, we're kind of taking a little bit of a break from client onboards at the moment. And we'll get back to that in the new year. But we got check-ins to get done. Going to pick up the new pair of shoes that I ordered. So anyone that has followed me for long enough knows how I approach things like goal setting. Grades came back 2% under getting a distinction, which sucks, but it's good. It means consistently what I've seen is that my percentages are actually getting higher the longer I've been in uni, which is a good sign. Most people tend to give less shit as they go on, so it's good to see that we are actually improving percentages. What used to be the back end of credits is now indicating that I'm getting closer and closer towards distinctions on average. But because of that, my reward, as I like to checkpoint myself, I waited until the end of season and end of semester. Again, just getting passing grades to me is not a good enough excuse to get something like a serious reward. It's kind of the benchmark of going to university. Why are you going if it's not to try and get the best marks you can and get the grade that you need? So pairing that with the great results that Ange got and uni, kind of combined a few different interests, Jordans and Marvel, and got a limited edition pair of the AJ1s that were released after into Across the Spider-Verse. It's a pair of shoes that Miles Morales wears in the show, in the movie. So I got myself those. Go pick up those because they've arrived. DHL. And yeah, it's going to be another week of business as usual. Getting a heap of work done, getting clients taken care of, getting my steps in, getting posing in, getting cardio in, all the fun stuff. So we'll try and capture some more of that across the week as we go, show you how we do things. And obviously, if there are things that you want to see that I can explain more or talk about more, please let me know and we'll do so. Usually with Aaron updating me, I will tend to inform you guys as I find things out. So if there are specific things you want to hear that Aaron talks about, or work that we're doing, or upcoming things that we're working on, then I will endeavour to include it. Now for the most part, that's the start of my morning. Walk's done, cardio's done, check-in done, posing's done. So yeah. So today, I'd rather punch myself in the face. Woo woo. All right. Goat has delivered. And I don't mean Michael Jordan. What do we have here? They're so sick. Unworn. No, they've worn a little bit. These are the Across the Spider-Verse Miles Morales Jordan crossover. I have no idea if I'm in shot for this, but we're going to find out. There we go. All right. So, whew. All right, upper day 2 of the week. Little prep update. The aggression has finally started. I know it's been kind of talked about a couple of weeks now, but the big dog pulled the trigger. So yesterday was the first day. I've got 5 days a week. I've got a high-low structure. 5 days, 50 grams of carbs, 250 protein, 65 fat, and then 2 days a week, 250 protein, 65 fat, 400 carbs. So yesterday already pulled down 1.2 kilos. Which is to be expected. Those first week probably going to pull off a good 3 or 4 kilos alone, and then it'll slowly stagnate, level back out, and then it'll just be mostly body fat. But will likely see us reach high 90s before this stops. But yeah, Aaron's sort of indicated that we'll be doing this as a until he likes what he sees sort of position, or as long as I can physically tolerate it. So yeah, it is what it is. Lipolytics have gone in slightly. Again, we're not throwing every tool at the job just yet. We're just finding the right tools for the right job right now and what is needed. One of the things that people tend to do too early in a prep is go hard too soon. Not too hard too soon, but they throw everything in the kitchen sink straight away and then leave themselves with no room, no tools, no modalities or modifications to make in the back end to continue to drive loss or alleviate fatigue. So for us now, knowing that I was already tightening up on 600 carbs, a couple of weeks like this, we'll really try and pull things down, shred up a little bit, really pull things into line, and then likely will be a deviation by a diet break and then a reduction in rate of loss, drive calories back up and then continue to lose from there. So right now training is all about still utilizing the fuel that I do have, which is fat stores. Don't think because there's a few days of low food you don't have energy. We're just going to push training, push intensity, push consistency, and just take day-by-day action. So let's get into it. Some cuff grip, lateral raises on the cable as usual for the Wednesday to start the week.
So this morning started off a little later than usual. I had a fantastic catch-up call with a good friend, colleague, Dr. Danny Lamartina. If you haven't seen her stuff for Paradigm Performance, go follow her. She's an IFBB Pro, winner of the Chicago Pro in 2023. Absolute genius. One of the smartest women that you'll ever meet. We generally try to have a monthly catch-up, touch base, stay in contact. Someone who is on the other side of the world, and obviously us being over here, we try to maintain contact and relationships as much as we possibly can in the American network, just because there's so many great people, so many smart people around us. It's hard sometimes to maintain those friendships and connections when we're on two sides of the planet. So we have a catch-up call once a month, touch base, stay up to date, help each other out, look at business strategies, work through business. Discuss training, life. So I had a fantastic call with her this morning. A lot of takeaways, a lot of back and forwards on things that was really great to share on. So really, it's amazing what bodybuilding can do when you look at what it does outside of just your physique. So without bodybuilding, without coaching, these relationships, these networks, these interactions, and these relationships just simply would not exist for us. So it's one of the absolute grateful things that I have about bodybuilding and pushing ourselves, growing the business. To be able to connect with people like that want to see us thrive, grow, succeed, and really try and go to the next level. And we want to see them go along with that as well and do their thing. So absolutely humbling experience that we've been able to achieve so far. But the great thing about this game and the sport is the like-minded people that you connect with, where, she's obviously in females divisions and categories, and males categories, so things aren't identical. She works a lot more in rehab, prehab, priming, movement mechanics, and performance, whereas we work in what we work in, but we're still heading in the same direction, even though it's not directly to the same place. So yeah, it's really important to understand that this game is so much more than just about the physique you present on stage. The people you do it with, the people that you meet, the relationships that you build, the lessons that you learn, the growth that you develop from it. That's some of my biggest takeaways from competing so far. And I'm very early in my career. This is going to go on for a lot longer. Right, so Wednesdays are an interesting day for me. There's no client work days and check-ins, catch-ups, check-in calls with clients. But it's a lot more back-end stuff, a lot of other business projects we work on, catch-ups, podcasting, meetings. I've got my young fella that I'm coaching tonight. Usually we do that on Monday, Friday, so today it's been moved. We've moved to Wednesday. So Wednesdays are usually a good day for me. Gives me a chance as someone who, the way I've kind of structured my week, and this will be paramount to success in prep for me and maintaining business structure, business flow, is I've structured my week so Monday, Tuesdays, Fridays are heavy check-in days. But usually what comes with that is a very heavy level of emotional and mental exhaustion. My bandwidth can only stretch so far, and then I need to kind of like take breaks. So being able to structure this way allows me to work in the business Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then over the weekends get things I need to get done. And then those check-in days, primarily basic content goes up, I mean like social medias, YouTube stuff, and client check-ins are the primary focuses of those days. So we've really been able to streamline over the last couple of years an effective process for me to maximize efficiency, maximize my advantages and disadvantages. So I know what my pros and cons are as a business owner, as a coach, as a trainer, and as an athlete. And having that understanding, that reflection, I think is going to be a key role in the back end of prep where I'm most fatigued, knowing what works best for me, knowing what's going to be my most useful periods, and periods that I'll have to take off to rest, recover, sleep, nap, etc., things like that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big role in where we succeed coming to the back end of prep. Searing me too, right underneath my skin. Whew, shit. Come on, go. Go. You're good. Don't even apologize. Hello. 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 Hi. Buongiorno. Ni hao. Konnichiwa. Yeah. Ohayou gozaimasu.
It's going to be the start of opening.
That's fine. What is up, YouTube? So, today is a low day. I had a high carb day yesterday. 40 carbs. Did it yesterday, so I had some fuel for this morning's leg session. I was going to do a high carb day today, but I thought it would be better to have fuel before training, since we train in the morning. So we have fuel for today. So what we're going to do is capture some of the food. People seem to like that shit. We'll capture some day on of the life eating low calories. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So first meal pre-training is some of the very limited amount of carbs that I have. Just 30 grams of cream of rice or rice flour, 30 grams of protein powder, 20 grams of peanut butter, and then added water to preference, and then 100 grams of banana. Now at this point of prep, I don't track 2 serves of fruit, and most of my standard meal is vegetables. So within reason, choose about 500 to 600 grams of vegetables across the day. I'm not really tracking that per se for the total calories. That'll be tracked mostly for volume and micronutrients. So the 50 grams of carbs is kind of extra on top of that. So I'll have this morning pre-training, and then I'll usually have like a jelly light before I go to bed, something sweet and easy. And then I'll probably have some Greek yogurt and protein powder. Oh, excuse me. The low-fat Greek yogurt makes up the remainder of the carbs it'll have after having cream of rice. So, yeah, nice and simple. And I'll show you the meals across the day as we have them. Otherwise, I'm going to have this and then train legs.
All right, so we have finished training. So far today, I only had my cream of rice with protein and some fruit. Right now, we are having about 200 grams of cooked weight kangaroo mince with some taco seasoning, 125 grams of ham, 4 whole eggs, about 190 grams of total eggs, 100 grams of mixed salad, and then some tomato and capsicum, and that will pretty much be meal 2. From that, we'll then have chicken, vegetables, and eggs, Greek yogurt and protein tonight, and then probably some jelly light to finish off for the day. So again, these aggressive approach meals are very high in protein, very low in carbohydrates. Still a decent amount of fats. Like I'm predominantly getting most of my fats from eggs. I have about 20 grams of peanut or 10 grams of peanut butter, 20 grams of peanut butter in my cream of rice. And then, yeah, the rest just comes from meats, eggs, maybe some avocado. Usually I have some avocado if I have like some beef or some steak. Yeah, so it's super exciting stuff, as you can see. Alrighty, so that's meal 2. It looks delicious. Plenty of vegetables, plenty of colour, plenty of meat, plenty of fats. All the good stuff. Alright, what is up, YouTube? Welcome to the back end of week 5? Week 4, week 5. I think it's week 5. Massive week this week with the adjustment in calories. Definitely feeling the first week of hunger. It's always hard to adjust to for anyone that's never done an aggressive front end approach, going from high levels of food. I always find the first week or two is a bit difficult on the hunger sense. The body's used to a certain amount of food volume coming in. It's adjusted to that level of caloric intake. Satiety's up there, so that massive disruption to things hits pretty quickly. Went from 105 down to 102. 105 down to 102.8 in the first 2 days. Had one of my high days yesterday, so I was back up to 103.6 this morning, which will come down again. So I've got another low day today, a high day tomorrow, and then a low day again Sunday. Will likely see me drop down to the high 90s pretty quickly. And then it'll be a bit more of a slower burn from there as things tighten up. Glycogen depletes and food volume decreases. Will likely be a slower trend after that sort of set point. So yeah, realistically, notice some pretty quick reductions in inflammation, swelling, fullness, hunger increased rapidly, which is good, all good signs. Lipolytics are in, and now we're moving. So cardio's up a notch for this period. And yeah, still getting through normal day-to-day stuff. Workload's still high, output's still high, training's still up, obviously. That won't change for a long time. And realistically, at this point, for like anyone that does consider this approach in the future, the intention is to still execute training as much as possible. People get this idea in their heads that with reduction in food, they instantly decrease strength. Besides the fact that research doesn't really support that, anecdotally and through experience with clients, I don't let them support that. Generally, I find that if you believe you're going to get weaker, you tend to get weaker. There is still plenty of fuel available in the body, plenty of fuel available for training to not maximize performance, but still be efficient and effective in your training and get done what you need to get done. Most lifts this week have progressed. So, the first couple of weeks there's still plenty of fuel sources. And with 2 400 carb days a week, there's still more than sufficient glycogen intake to maximize training capacity as much as possible. So don't let yourself buy into the idea of low food equals low training productivity, because that is where you'll lose tissue. The idea in a prep is to train as hard as possible, keep protein as high as possible, where possible, to maximize muscle retention as body fat comes down. So the quicker you get weaker and the quicker you stop implementing progression in your training, or the faster you accept it, or you believe that training is going to reduce, well, to me, that's where you'll start to lose tissue and you'll start to lose size, because you will lose the stimulus that is maintaining that tissue. And that's what realistically prep is all about, trying to drop as much body fat as possible while maintaining as much muscle tissue as possible. And in order to preserve muscle, it needs stimulus and training. So that is the intention. Cardio done. It's up to 4 days a week now, but again, it's only 15 minutes. Nothing hectic, nothing crazy. And yeah, just getting work done, getting things as done efficiently as possible, maximize productivity, and get everything ticked off. Get all the systems in place that we need now, so that the back end of prep, it's not a random adjustment or challenge to the schedule or to life, and throws curveballs. So yeah, stay tuned, because I'll be discussing how I navigate things like holidays, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, like the stuff that people struggle with. A lot of people struggle to diet over Christmas or prep over Christmas. because of certain reasons, but there's so many strategies and tools that are available, different resources that we've put out that will help you improve your accountability, your consistency over that Christmas period. I think one of the big things that people struggle to understand is that you're a grown adult, you're a functioning, fully capable, at full capacity human being. You get to pick and choose what events, what circumstances, what holidays, what days that you perhaps want to allow some freedom. The thing with that I find is that if you're in control of what days mean most to you, and you're in control of what days you decide to relax a little bit, those days tend to feel better because you've worked for it meaning something. If every single weekend, if every single day is some extravagant excuse to justify binge eating or overeating or overconsumption, well then no day really becomes special. So some degree of delayed gratification means you're picking and choosing what days mean the most to you, and it makes it more special and more intimate or more important. You're able to be more present. You should be those things anyway, but if that's the day you choose to relax the diet, if that's the day you choose to have a high day or a refeed or a cheat meal or a free meal, whatever you want to call it, however you approach your nutritional strategies, I find that being in control around that is more empowering to that day itself, feeling better, feeling different, and having more meaning to it. So for me, dieting around Christmas is not hard. Dieting around events is not hard. But I understand for other people it is. I understand people getting started that it can be. So over the coming month, we'll do a fair bit of stuff to share perspectives or opinions or advice, tips, tricks to kind of get through that stuff. But I think one of the big things that people need to consider is implementing their own boundaries and enforcing them, making sure that they're set in stone so that people learn to respect them. And then that way, should you choose to be free or be a little bit more free on Christmas Day or New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, then they're respectful of that. And when you choose to go back onto your diet, to your plan, to your strategy, to your low days, to your calories, whatever, they also respect that. So realistically, the Christmas period, the holiday period, is a great window to practice discipline, control, erecting boundaries, having value in yourself and the goals that you have, and to practice putting those things forward. That's my opinion anyway. So yeah, today we've got more meetings, client check-ins, had some face-to-face sessions this morning, some face-to-face sessions this afternoon. Got some catch-up calls, a bit of stuff to do for the Friday, finish out the week, relax, play some Diablo, and then we've got a big day tomorrow morning. The family sister is going overseas for Christmas, so we're doing a catch-up tomorrow. Again, so for me, being in prep and on low calorie days, I'm just going to do a black coffee. I'll hang out, have a coffee, spend time with them while they eat. It really doesn't faze me. I know that's not the same for everyone, but for me, my goals are my goals. What they choose to eat and do is their decisions. So I'll have coffee. We've got a good friend of mine, colleague, fellow coach, Josh Atkins, as a veteran, has an event he calls the Weight of War, basically running 21 kilometers with nothing but a weight vest and Speedos through the city. So that's on tomorrow. We sponsor that. Money goes to charity to help returning veterans come back from war and return to society. So huge props to him. I ain't running 21 kilometers. I just ain't know how that's gonna go. But yeah, we got that tomorrow morning. Family, then we train, then I'll have my high day. And that's about it. Finish off the week with leg day on Sunday. She might do leg day tomorrow as soon as I got the high day. But yeah, that's really where we are for the week. And we'll start getting some different stuff coming soon. Thinking of maybe doing some like day in the life stuff, some more what I eat in a day stuff. I don't know, whatever goes on YouTube these days and people seem to froth or interest in. We'll endeavor to put that up. So I'm sure people will be curious how you do 250 protein, 65 fat, and 50 carbs. It ain't exciting, but it's good. So we'll do some stuff like that coming up as well.
Hello. 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 Alright, YouTube. So, that is Sunday complete. I didn't capture my other meals, which were 3 eggs, chicken, vegetables, soy sauce, kind of like a homemade stir fry, Greek yogurt, protein, sugar-free maple syrup and cinnamon, and I've got some frozen jelly light in the freezer. I use that as like my food volume trick, to have something sweet before going to bed and kind of get the food volume up. It's like 7 grams of protein collagen, sorry, or gelatin. By the time it's made up in a whole sachet, so it's next to nothing. It's like 28 calories for a bowl of jelly. It's filling, it's sweet, it's easy to eat, just something to snack on. All right, so first full week of aggressive calories is down. I didn't start aggressive calories until Tuesday because Scaff was overseas, so it's technically been 6 days and we're down 2.5 kilos. With that in mind, we'll see a full week this week. I doubt he's going to make any changes to anything. Rate of loss is exactly as it's supposed to be, which is aggressive and fast, so we'll likely not see any changes to that, but I'll leave that to the big man to provide feedback on tomorrow, and we'll make some updates from there. One of the things that's a nice little finish point, tonight we decided to go chase down some Christmas lights and have a look around. I think one of the things that we get caught up with as being bodybuilders is being stuck in doing the same monotonous things, but it's important to look at activities and things you can still maintain and do during a prep, that you otherwise might think you're going to be stuck in a dungeon, stuck in a house, rinse and repeat. That hour driving around didn't impact my meals. I took one of my meals with me. I got my water in. Supplementation's all fine. So being able to do a few things like that to maintain enjoyment, activities, and do stuff outside of the house is, it's not really a bad thing. Like, you're not super hardcore as a bodybuilder because you don't leave the house and don't do anything enjoyable. So a little tip, I guess, from that is just make sure you fit in things still that can fit your life, that aren't going to negatively impact your prep. And for the most part, everyone else that is playing at home and following along, I started Diablo again and am playing as the Spiritborn. So I kind of like clocked through the Necromancer pretty easily, and now I'm going to play as a Spiritborn, which is what Elon Musk's character is. So my goal is to be better than Elon Musk, which is definitely doable, even though he's like top 20 in the world. But fuck that guy. And yeah, so that's pretty much where things are for Sunday. Again, we're going to keep trying to do more stuff like day in the life of eating, that sort of thing, or day on the plate, or whatever the fucking words are that people use. I'll try and get a high day this week at some point. I doubt, again, given that we're still down 2.5 kilos, and I'll see what I wake up tomorrow at. I doubt Scaff's going to adjust the 400 carbs. It has a pretty sweet spot number. And I'll just make I'll update any modifications he does say. But yeah, for now, I think cardio just went up by 1 day this week, was the only real difference in output. Training numbers all remain the same, if not improved. Hit some PBs in some things. Hip-wise, I just did not have the energy in the room in me to adjust pendulums this week. I was not getting 100 kilos on pendulums on such a massive adjustment to food, and just overall, just the way I was warming up, I just didn't feel like it was there, so didn't risk it. Instead, pushed the Bulgarians and managed to get that up instead. So yeah, for the most part, I don't see any massive changes happening this week. It'll just likely be a rinse and repeat until Christmas, and we'll see how it goes from there. So that is Sunday and the last day of the week. And any other changes to come, we'll keep you up to date.